I'm Bloodied Porcelain, and I'm playing Lady Nienna, the Ain-She sorceress.
Hey, I'm Grizz, and I'll be playing Fenix, the werewolf craftsman.
Hey, I'm Legacy, and I'll be playing Brynnhilder, your Griffith School Witcher.
Hi, I'm Overthinker. I will be playing Irileth, the Elven Man-at-Arms.
Hi there, I'm Stabbykinz. I'll be playing Siegryn, the Dwarven Merchant.
Hello, my name is Jimmy, and I'll be playing Oswald, the Witcher.
And I'm Solomon, and I will be your game master for this evening. When we last left our professionals, they had come back together after a bit of time apart. Brynnhilder had come into town and found the rest of her allies having breakfast at the tavern, trying to discuss what exactly they were going to do, the nature of the threats that they had found. She also discovered that they were accompanied by her own flesh and blood brother, who had been taken to become a witcher via the law of surprise, whereas she had traveled to try to find him and ended up joining a different Witcher school. After a bit of discussion about the nature of the upcoming conjunction of the spheres, and a bit of snooping by Siegryn where she wasn't wanted, the professionals set out, hoping to find the house where these Hyms had apparently taken roost. Not only did they find the house, but they found that it was inhabited by descendants of the youngest sibling of Brynnhilder and Oswald. As they had made their way in and begun to speak to their own descendants, their great grand niece and her husband, they also discovered that there were apparently twins that their names had been utilized as family names for them. And we rejoined the professionals with most of the family sitting at the table. The two youngest boys are currently playing with the toys that Fenix had brought for them, having apparently expected to need to distract children. And the professionals now sit at this large table, aside from Irileth, who I believe decided to remain standing, and are looking at two children entering into their teen years, as well as a rather flummoxed and just unsure and flustered young woman and her husband. So, what brings you, I suppose, back? Or is this more business for someone else? And she just looks at the rest of the professionals, just curious and trying to get some information as to why exactly this rather odd reunion is occurring now.
Nienna is looking at Brynnhilder.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, it is good to see that the family is still going strong. It's nice to be home again. Brynnhilder's looking very uncomfortable. We actually might have some business in this house. Downstairs. That might require a Witcher's touch. and we were going to request to check out the basement. Maybe take some time to get to know the rest of the family. And she's just gonna look at the twins for a moment before looking back at Oswald with like a blank expression, but her eye, like the slits in her eyes are semi dilated to almost like the size of like a pin drop, giving away an obvious tell that there is something seems almost wrong with the situation at hand.
I have a look at Brynnhilder, and I have a similar looking expression as well.
But we don't have to look into it until night falls. Don't believe we're in a whole bunch of a rush, and we need to be able to wait for our shadows to grow stronger. But we need to look in the basement.
Yes, of course. We'd be happy to let you into the basement. The only trouble was that it got boarded up. I suppose we could take the boards down, but a long while ago, I think it was my grandmother had apparently made a deal with some druid or cunning woman or something or other that we wouldn't need to utilize the cellar for the future, that they put some sort of blessing on the house that food wouldn't rot as swiftly.
You said that she made a deal with the druid?
She said it was a magical woman, though honestly she had been saying this when she was getting a little... her mind was wandering. And she began saying things that, like, she regretted the deal, that it wasn't worth it. But we've been enjoying the fact that we don't have to have an entire larder, that we can keep things fresher here.
I see.
While we're sitting there, can I, like, open up my senses to see if I can tell if there's magic on the house?
Absolutely. That would be let's call it a mage training roll. I would also allow a witcher training roll from our witchers, with the Griffin Witcher getting a additional +1 because it's kind of her shtick.
Okay.
Magic things being the magic witcher shtick.
I know, right?
Oh, God damn.
Okay. 22.
29.
And I got locked out of my roll 20. Hold on. Love that for me.
Would you like me to make the roll for you, my dear?
I got it. I'm here. I'm back. I'm back. Thanks, roll 20.
Very cool. Jesus.
Christ.
That amount.
What the
Well,
For those who don't know, I rolled a 10, another 10, and an 8, so I got 48.
well. We're going to begin with Oswald. Oswald, your pendant is vibrating, but it's very light. It's like the magic that's on this house is not very strong. It's just sort of like a low humming of power here. Nienna gets much the same. The magic is very natural in how it is affecting this place. It seems to just sort of be making sure that decay and rot happen much, much slower here. Just in general. And Brynnhilder, you open up your own senses, your own training, and you remember back through the hours upon hours, actual days of time spent studying through the texts and scrolls and tomes within the Griffin School library. The texts and tomes of a library so extensive that the Lodge of Sorceresses and various other mages saw it as a threat and caused an avalanche to destroy it. This magic is meant to keep decay at a minimum. But what it seems to actually be doing is not just affecting foodstuffs. It's affecting anything organic. People are decaying at a slower rate to the point where you do think that it's very likely there was maybe only 1 or 2 generations between when you left and this current time. Whereas with most families, there might even be 3 or 4, given the general life expectancy of people in this time. But you also can feel something underlying. There is that magic, but it's almost devious in how you can feel that there is a darker undercurrent, like not under the same spell, but like the current spell that you're focusing on is blanketing the effects of something else, something that sort of makes your blood run cold.
If you don't mind me asking, how old is everyone in this house?
Well, I'm actually to be at my 33rd name year in a few weeks, and my husband is maybe a few years older than that. And everyone is looking at them, and they look like they're maybe in their mid to late 20s, physically.
Mm-hmm.
And the twins are about 12, and our boys, and she just looks over to the kids who are now wrestling and basically trying to fight over one wooden toy. They're both about 7 and 8. Which actually does track. It seems that this spell seems to affect older individuals as opposed to younger ones.
Interesting. If you don't mind, we have some animals that need to be put up somewhere for now. Would you happen to have a barn or anything we might be able to keep the horses?
It's nothing too large, but we do have a small little open stable, and the husband will stand up, puffing on his pipe, but will put it out We can take you there. Just there's not a lot of room, but if nothing else, I can put out the donkey for a while. I don't think that there will be much bad weather.
No need to worry about it. We can find the stables for ourselves, and make sure that the donkey's taken care of. We don't take up that much room. She says, as there's a 6-foot-something witcher, a 6-foot-something blacksmith, a bunch of other people, a bunch of animals. We don't take much room. And she'll look to Nienna and then look to the others and just kind of gesture for us to exit the house.
Mm-hmm. I start to get up and walk out.
We'll be right back once we put the animals up.
Of course. Take your time.
Thank you. And just gonna look to Ozzy and what's the girl's name? Bryn?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. She's gonna look to Ozzy and Bryn. Furrow her eyebrows again. And then she'll stand up and leave.
Their eyes just kind of focus on you and follow you along as you move out the door. They haven't really said too much aside from whispering to one another.
Mm-hmm.
As Irileth is the last to leave the room, he's like, for the record, where's the door to the cellar?
Just over here. And the woman will just gently push her way past the professionals and show basically a boarded up wall that does have a small draft coming from it, but it looks like it's been boarded up and kept that way for a long while.
Gotcha. Yeah, then head outside.
The moment that she can kind of tell that they have like some distance from the family. Yeah, that basement's got something to it.
Couldn't agree more.
Like evil rats or something?
No, more like somebody in our family made a deal with a devil of some sort. And that magic that is stopping the things from decaying. It's not just food. It's organic. I read about that in a tome back in Witcher training school. But that's a blanketing spell. That's a spell that adds fluff to something else deeper within.
What exactly would it be trying to cover up in that case?
Could be anything.
Well, let me see if I remember correctly. Out of character, did Brynnhilder tell us about her dream, or just we need to go to my old house?
No, I think she told you guys about the godling dream.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, if it was literally, there's a thing down there, then whoever made the deal, right, wanted you called it a godling?
Mm-hmm.
In your basement, suffering so much that it would draw a Hyms.
Yeah.
So who would target you like that? Who would go to this much work?
It's not necessarily my family. That
Bullshit. They picked your house? Out of
They picked-
all these houses?
They picked a woman who was willing to make a deal.
Not buying
It's
it.
an awful lot of coincidence, and I don't buy that it's coincidence.
And if you look at the benefits for it, the first thing I noticed when we were rolling through and he just gestures to all the farmland, this place is beautiful. It's lush, almost too much so. Makes my skin crawl.
Yeah. It stops any matter from decaying, meaning that our 30-something-year-old nieces and nephews could be 30 or could be slow to age.
They're gonna be pretty bummed when we break that spell, aren't they?
Maybe. I mean,
Depends if it needs to be broken. If it's depends on what's in that cellar and how entangled the Hyms is with it.
how entangled the godling is with it.
Right. If we can break that, not break the spell.
Yeah. We could leave this community as lush and as fruitful as they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be the reason that a small village goes through famine.
There's nothing underlyingly bad about it, and
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, but
There's always some sort of a cost to this sort of thing.
I mean,
Let me just point out, I can feel the magic strongly.
Mm-hmm.
I could feel the evil underlying with it.
Which is why I said there's always a price to be paid. The reality is, when we get rid of what's underlying it, we're probably going to end up stripping away the spell that's keeping things from dying here. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they get plunged into famine. It just means that they go back to a normal output for the area.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a weird thought.
Mm.
Technically, what her grandma did, she made a deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way we can find out what the terms of that deal were? Is it leave this wall boarded up, so if we dig in from the side, we haven't broken the deal?
In my
Or is it
experience,
just-
the only way to know exactly what the stipulations of the deal are to get your hands on the person that made the deal in the first place. Not necessarily the mortal, but the being that they contracted with.
I understand your thought process, but you're trying to wheel and deal with an ancient ideal, which is we're making a deal of mutual benefit. There's not going to be dig a side hole. This is what it is. So we want to get in there.
That's not necessarily true, but
I mean, it depends. But
There's every possibility that whoever she made a deal with also deals in guilt. So even if we found it, whatever it is that made the deal and asked, some devils, some demons, are masters at manipulating emotional states, making you feel one type of way or another without even as much of it as trying. So whatever it is that we're dealing with, we'll have to be careful. And I'm not trying to. I'm simply just remember how draining it was dealing with the previous one.
Oh, the previous demon.
Mhm.
Okay. No, it's pretty draining. Irileth's got like bags under his eyes and he's still drinking coffee. So do we want to try and end round this contract, or do we just want to, I don't know, go to the basement and see what's in there?
I say we go into the cellar.
Check out. Maybe see if there's anything invisible that we can pull.
Okay.
Solomon,
Yes.
do I think with the information that Brynnhilder has provided, I could look a little bit more closely at like the magical signatures and everything to try and get a better sense of exactly what we're dealing with?
I think you definitely could. You could go ahead and make another mage or magic training roll with a. You could also get a little bit of assistance from Brynnhilder and Oswald. Brynnhilder would probably give you a bit more help, given that she has more magical training. Though just having anyone assist you with focusing on the magics at play here could let you get a little bit more about like the nature of the magic, maybe even let you get a little bit of maybe figuring out who cast it or what cast it.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Alrighty, give me another magical training roll.
What's my modifier?
If you are asking for help from the Witchers, then I will give you a grand total of a +5.
Okay. I think in that case, Nienna would kind of look back towards the house and then look at everyone else. Fenix, Irileth, why don't you two go take care of the horses? I need these two. I might be able to garner more information given their connection to the place.
Sure.
Thank you. And then she will guide the two Witchers over so that she's close enough to get a good feel for it.
As they step away, I am going to turn to Siegryn. Do you think they have a library here? Or any place to keep records?
It's a fairly small village. I suppose if they did have any form of records, it might be with the village chief.
If there was a known wise woman in the area, maybe they wrote down her name?
Potentially, but I would imagine the chances would be slim, given the size of the community.
Okay. Well, if you want to help us with the horses, you're welcome to stay here.
Sure,
There's a
I
little
could look.
smile.
I suppose I could look over them.
No, you got to help with the horses. If you could grab all those buckets of water.
She narrows her eyes a little.
He's grinning.
You just hear from a distance, "Don't fall in."
Things that I do for this group. She'll grab up some buckets and go to get them filled with water.
No. I was kidding. I'm getting the water.
No, it's too
Go
late.
find
I'm going. I'm going. Goodbye. I'm going forever. I'll fall down the well, and then you won't be able to hear me. So terrible.
You find a godling down there.
We should probably add large wells to the list of places that Siegryn should never go towards.
Given how loud you're getting, there are a lot of people just like stopping and staring. A lot of kids are laughing at Siegryn.
Or a decent sized fountain in a park. Or
All right, with the roll of 27 from Nienna,
Yes.
you're focusing in on this magic with the help of Brynnhilder and Oswald. The innate magic at play here, the one that's very obvious, is very obviously not a spell weaved by a mage or sorceress or even a druid. It is natural in nature, but it's like innate. And with what you've been told about godlings, it's very likely that this is just some sort of extended work of a godling. As you focus in, that underlying current of a darker magic at play seems to almost be entwined with this magic. It's hidden by it, but also just wrapped around it, like it's keeping the spell going. Something here is forcing the godling's magic to do this.
Okay. I have no idea who, like, if it was a mage or something else that did it.
The magic that's weaved within seems like dark magic that is utilized by mortal quote unquote sorceresses or mages.
I'm gonna look over at Brynnhilder. Well, whoever did it was a mage, some sort.
Another thing that stands out to you is that the magic has been altered somewhat recently. The darker undercurrent has had threads added to it. Ones that just even like focusing on them and sort of reaching out to inspect them give small pangs of pain.
Do they feel similar to the magic that I felt out in the forest when we were camping and got attacked by the demon dog things?
Very.
Well, isn't that interesting? Nienna's looking at something that they can't see. She just sort of like reaches out and like looks like she's plucking something in the air, like almost like it's a guitar string. I'd wager that the very same mage who's after our blacksmith friend and his business somehow found out that he was involved with you and came here and added to what was already done to the godling. As for the original magic, it feels a bit like shackles and amplification all at the same time. Like it's meant to force the godling to keep doing what it's doing indefinitely. But it has been recently altered, and the magic feels exactly like what I felt in the forest when we were attacked.
Makes sense as to why I was attacked by.
You going to finish the thought?
Saul, just over the table question. What was the name of the creature that attacked Brynnhilder a couple sessions back? There were
Oh, the spectral hounds that
yes.
attacked?
Yeah.
That was a Barghest.
Okay.
Which was the same thing that attacked us in the forest. I just couldn't remember the name for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
A little while ago, I was attacked by Barghest.
And we were attacked by several while you were gone.
Okay, I'm not the only one here who feels like that's coincidence, right?
It's not coincidence.
It's very pointed, very purposeful.
As I said, there's very little in the way of magic that is ever coincidental. Call it chaos, but it's not really all that chaotic. There's a pattern to most of it, especially when it is being wielded. It's chaotic when it's left wild.
Alright. Do you know what we have in common with those, though? Those two attacks? Both of us were with Fenix when it happened.
Yes. If I were to guess, he found out about your connection to him and came here to alter this spell, knowing that something deep and dark enough would spring from it. It happened to latch onto you because you've got the strongest tie here, but she knew ultimately it would end up spreading to him.
Right.
It's what I would do.
We need to get to that godling.
Yes. Well, what we need to do first is get some rooms at a local tavern and get your family out of here.
Yes.
I'm going to go handle that.
Especially since we'll be needing to spend the night here.
Yes. And I wouldn't want to risk them being harmed while we're dealing with it.
I can't say I blame you. Don't want that either.
Before you each depart, go your separate ways, I would like an awareness roll from all three of you, please.
Oh?
I'd also like an awareness roll from the other three, over by the stable.
Oh boy. Okay.
16.
27.
21.
95.
Yeah.
15. 112.
25.
Alrighty.
22,000.
69.
Nice.
Yes.
Everyone that got over a 20. Well, there is something that you notice as you're going about your various works, planning things out, getting the horses taken care of, so on and so forth. You notice just as you're working, like planning this out, you just look around and you just notice something in the wood of the structure of the house itself and the stable. There is something carved into it. The interesting thing for those of the stable, you look at it, and having been around Brynnhilder long enough, it kind of looks like one of her signs. But it's not a sign that you've ever seen her use. Brynnhilder and Oswald, as you look at the carving in the wood of the house, you see that it is a sign, but it's a sign that's not used very often given its more advanced nature. It's usually used by witchers who focus more on magic. Griffin School witchers, the occasional snake or cat that wants to utilize this particular kind of sign. It's a sign called supere.
Super.
It looks akin to a alphabetic X, but it's missing one of these lines through the other to actually finish off the image. It's a sign that actually is drawn to stick to a surface and then allows any witcher that drew it, as long as they remain within a certain distance, to be able to overhear as if they were standing right there.
Out of character, wouldn't that also mean that mages can do it? Because signs are just the basis of all magic.
Yes, all mages can learn Witcher signs as well.
Could have.
Hey, Phoenix. Does this look like not normal kids scraping with knives kind of thing?
I have a question for you, GM.
I have an answer.
The old path.
Phoenix.
Would I have seen that sign in my childhood? Like around the house?
No.
Okay. Had a thought that was kind of terrifying and I didn't like it, so I thought I'd ask. No, it doesn't look like anything kids would do. Not too keen on that kind of shit myself. He's just gonna walk over, take a chisel and put a strike through it.
And as you do that, you can feel like a bit of pushback, not to like actually harm you, but you can almost feel like as you like strike into it, there is a snap and the sign lights up for a brief moment before fading.
Well, I'm glad it didn't explode.
I don't think it was meant for that, but I ain't no mage.
I'll go tell the others. And then
I get the feeling right now.
Do we remember? So while we are looking at it, is there a way? Was this at all carved when we happened to be? Me and Bren were still here as kids, or is this like very recent?
The actual work done looks recent, and you don't think that a Witcher would have purpose to actually make this mark here, or a mage would have a purpose to make this kind of mark here when you were kids.
Okay.
Another thing that you as Witchers who focus on signs know is that this kind of mark, it's short range, very short range. Like they could focus a lot of their energy into it and still only, if it's a Witcher that did it, they could still only get maybe about 22 meters away at most for it to stay effective. Of course, if it was a mage that did it, they could pump a lot more energy into it and get further, but they would still probably have to be within at least sight to be able to call upon the power here.
Oh. Wow.
Can I say that since I rolled really low and missed it, that I have walked away?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you just see Oswald and Brynnhilder staring at a post.
Yeah.
This craftsmanship is amazing, they say.
I just want to run into Irileth on my way away from them, because Irileth was headed this way.
Of course.
Up.
Aren't you supposed to be taking care of the horses?
Yeah, we found some weird thing scratched into the wall. Phoenix broke it. It was like when Brynnhilder does he holds up his hand, makes 3 awkward movements, and then kind of flips the bird and realizes he's done so and stops.
When she uses signs.
Yeah, magic.
Sure,
it didn't blow up when he broke it, so.
Nothing.
Anyway.
Do you want to show me?
Right this way. Yep, see? It's like a axe. Like when I was a kid, I used to take a knife and scratch a design into stuff all over the place, but it was usually, boobs.
Interesting. Can I feel any like residual energy coming off of it, or has it been too long since Fenix broke it?
It's been brief enough that you can sort of feel the residual energy. It's interesting that it's not elemental, really, in any sense. It's just sort of raw magic at play.
It's like a mixed thing.
Yeah.
Any chance I could follow the residual effects of it and see where they lead to?
I will take a magical training roll, but given the fact that the spell is broken, it will be at a -5.
Okay. Still 24.
God damn.
Rolled a 10. This is what I do.
It is. You are able to at least get the direction that the magic was flowing to when the spell was still active. You look about and just like look in the same direction, and it's a direction that goes more in the direction of the city. But you do see that there is a figure that is cloaked and hooded and walking with a limp. And you've been around enough people and had a little bit of training in spotting things that are fake. The limp is a little bit too staged.
Okay. Or do I want to do something real stupid?
What's up? You get that look like you're thinking about doing something stupid.
Yeah, it's strange. It's very similar to Irileth's.
They hang out a lot.
Or like in a lot of ways.
Mm.
I would like to use telepathy to talk to Fenix.
Mm-hmm.
Go and get Brynnhilder. Tell her to follow us. Irileth and I are going to track someone.
He
Quiet.
kind of raises an eyebrow and then points to his nose, but shrugs.
Trust me. And then Nienna's gonna swap her telepathy to Irileth and point at the figure as she's already starting to follow. We have to follow him quietly.
Yeah, okay.
Oh boy.
Like,
we're staying at a distance and we're not making any, and we're not talking. But yeah, Nienna does not want to just go chase a possible Witcher without knowing that our Witcher is on their way.
That's fair.
I think Irileth will point out,
You can just think in your head, she can hear you.
Oh. Great idea. Alternate idea. I follow him because you're real recognizable in that they're pretty dress. And I pulls up his hood, closes cloak over armor, am just a guy. So, stay a little bit further back.
I'll drop back, but I'm not leaving you alone.
He winks and gives the confident smile of someone who is totally comfortable. Yeah, all right. And I will follow this individual.
All right, Irileth, I would like you to... I will take either a roll of deceit or stealth. Like if you're trying to more blend into like little groups and crowds of people as you follow along after this individual, or just like more play it off as I'm just going this way.
I'm gonna blend because I have 16 to stealth and 13 to deceit.
Fair.
Here we go. Any pluses or minus?
I'll go ahead and give you a +2 because you have the cloak and hood that sort of take care of a lot of your more distinguished features.
Mhm.
I would like to have Spectral Tether readied, just in case they try and take off.
Alrighty.
22 ain't bad.
You are following this figure along. It doesn't seem like they've noticed you, as they just sort of do a hobble along, not overly exaggerated, not like a mummer hobble on in a play, but it still doesn't exactly look natural. You've seen a lot of wounded individuals who limp. This is not an individual who is currently wounded.
Mm. I'll think back to Nienna. So, what do you do?
They were standing exactly where I would expect someone who used that sign to be standing. And they were listening in.
Okay. So, a spy. A lookout.
Possibly. Or the person who altered the magic in the first place. Which is why I'm not leaving you alone.
I just asked because a lookout usually fesses up when you put a knife in his face.
Yes, but if they're not the lookout, if they're the person, they could rip your soul from your body. So how about we play this smart?
Alright. Yeah, I'll stay on him until the others get here. Or until they go somewhere that I can't easily follow.
Fair enough.
At which point I will change tactics.
All right. Oswald and Brynnhilder.
Uh-huh.
You are looking at this sign, and you see that Fenix is making his way towards you.
You okay, Fenix?
Yeah, it's what can you do? Got a sign of trouble. Irileth and Nienna are tracking somebody and told me to come get the two of you because it may or may not be some Witcher business. They're headed towards the city.
Okay.
Low, slow, and put your heads up, yeah? As you already know. I had a character. I was like, almost went. They went that away, like some kind of fucking stupid ass NPC. But yeah, they went that way. But no, he's yeah, he'll just point them towards down the road where they went. I'm gonna keep an eye around the house, keep an eye on the family, and make sure they don't do anything fucky.
Should I stick here with you to make sure?
No, I can handle most things.
Nods my head and starts walking towards the city, or the area that Fenix pointed.
All right. I will also do the same.
Alrighty. Siegryn, you were not involved in any of the telepathic speech. So you just saw your friends just sort of look at each other, nod, and didn't head in separate directions. What are you up to?
She nods too, like she's also in on this, totally.
Listen, I can only do it to one person at a time. Jesus. I prioritized. And you don't have very long legs, so I figured Fenix would get there faster.
Wow, okay. I guess she'll just go to the open stable and just, give it a quick look around, make sure that singular donkey is okay.
Awareness test.
Donkey.
Okay.
We joke now, but this could all be a setup.
16. Oh, wow.
You are just like looking through the stable, making sure that everything's okay. The animals seem to be calm. The donkey seems to be making sure to stay away from Render. It isn't like bucking or anything, but it's just trying to make sure that there is like space from it and an obvious predatory animal.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
And you're just like making sure that everything's fine, and you look to a hay bale and you notice that there is something off about it. There are several strands that are sticking out that just seem like they're almost like disturbed by something within it.
She stops in her tracks. She's gonna look to Render. She's gonna look to the hay bale. Do you smell anything off, boy?
Render gives several sniffs and then will actually like sniff a little bit closer to the hay bale and just like sniff at it and then let out a single roar.
Now, what does that clue her into, given her bond with Render?
Given what you know about Render, he seems to be indicating that there's just something that's not normal, not right here. He smells something that shouldn't be here.
Oh boy. And like as she like looks, like everyone's like gone by now, right?
Yep, Siegryn is all by her lonesome currently.
Man, this is so fucked up. I can't believe y'all would leave a poor dwarf unattended. All right, boy. I'm going to do this nice and easy. If anything pounces out of this hay bale, I'm going to need you to be really quick about saving my skin. You think you can do that? All right. And she's gonna take like a pitchfork and like awkwardly begin to lift some of the hay from a distance.
You are able to easily lift the hay, and there doesn't seem to be any immediate disturbance. Like there's nothing in that just springs out at you. But I would like you to go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand, okay.
It is under dexterity skills.
Ugh. 13.
All right. We'll get back to you in a moment.
What does that mean? Sullivan?
Don't worry about it.
It means we'll get back to you in a moment.
Back to Irileth and the other professionals that are slowly gaining on him. Brynnhilder and Oswald would see Nienna keeping a good distance, or like walking slower. And Irileth, you are still keeping eyes on this figure. They do not seem to have quickened their pace. They don't seem to have changed the way they move. They are just hobbling along into the city proper, and they look like they are heading to a tap house that looks like it is one meant for performances as well as the drinks, because it has the looks like it has a sort of fresco of Dandelion raising a tankard in the air here.
Telepathically, going to be a lot harder to have a convincing conversation in a public place. You want me to drag him into an alley or something?
No. Just keep an eye on him.
Okay, windows closing. And I'll follow him into the tap house. Also imagining we've come out of like the mud and dirt road of the outer city into like light cobblestone.
Absolutely.
Cool.
you head into the tap house. Nienna, you hear the familiar footsteps of your Witcher associate and her brother.
Nienna will nod towards the tap house. Figures going in there. There's a number of ways we could play this, but I didn't want to risk potentially trying to delve into their head without knowing that if we were going to fight a Witcher, there were other Witchers around.
All right.
I'll
Might
go
be
have a
best-
listen, shall
Please.
I? Nienna will... can she still see the figure, or have they gone inside already?
You can see the figure is like at the entryway and is about to head inside proper.
I want to attempt to use telepathy to spy on their thoughts.
Okay. Go ahead and make a roll for me, please.
$28.
All right.
I'm not making any noise into their head. I'm just listening.
Okay. You reach out with your own magic. And you try to delve your way into their mind. And you feel yourself hit almost like a wall, a mental block. There is something that you, as you reach out with your magic, it almost snaps back at your magic, not painfully, but just to completely negate it, and you are not able to pierce into their mind.
She kind of shake her head and look at Brynnhilder. I can't get in, not without brute force. And my version of brute force tends to hurt people. You might want to go see if you can have a conversation with them. They're well fortified, whoever they are.
She'll look to Oswald. Well,
I think it's
yeah.
If they won't talk, I'm willing to use more forceful means, but there's a chance I could do permanent damage, so I'd rather know who they are first.
Mm-hmm.
Saul, quick question.
Quick answer.
This guy's at the door. He's about to head in. As I'm getting closer, can I get like a... How big is he?
Sizing up a cloaked individual. It's easy to tell at least how tall and how broad they are. You can tell... Well, give me a human perception roll real quick, just to see if he's like actually this size or he's trying to hide it.
Yeah. How big and is he armed? What I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
24.
With a 24, you're able to tell this individual is hiding how big he is. He is very broad of stature. Very, if he's not like a bit tubby, he's very broad and muscular of build. You don't see the telltale way that Witcher's swords, with the way they have them over their back, like makes a shape in cloaks, but you can tell that there is something that is playing at his hip. He's very likely armed by either with a shorter sword or maybe a sort of dagger. You don't see the Witcher blades. and you can tell that this individual is quite stronger and more sturdily built than he is letting on. If you had to take a guess, it might be somewhere in the same range as Brynnhilder, but broader instead of taller. So maybe a couple inches shorter, but a few dozen pounds broader.
Gotcha. Yeah, if he goes in, I'm going to try and sit near him.
All right. You head inside, and you are able to keep an eye on him because you're sticking fairly close. You can see that he is just moving through the tables, shifting, and the way he moves is very practiced. It's very water-like. He's able to avoid tripping over any individuals, any drunks that stumble in his way. It's very methodical. And he's able to just sort of slip past so many people that are wandering about and listening to the minstrels that are playing along with a bit of a performance on a small stage, and is actually heading upstairs to where the rooms probably would be. It's about this time, as you watch him head up the stairs, that Oswald and Brynnhilder join you in the entryway.
Did you want to look around, see if then look? Did you see where he went?
Sorry, gotta turn my mic off. Telepathically, I say to Nienna, he just took a room on the north side, second floor. Make sure he doesn't jump out the window.
I am
And
not
then-
connected to you anymore because I had to try and tap into his head. And then
Cool.
you
So Irileth thinks that to no one.
I have to be able to see you.
Irileth
Cool.
thinks that into his own head.
Yep. And then, yeah, orders a drink and says he just went upstairs. He's big, but he doesn't have the two swords.
That's interesting. Don't
Maybe cat school.
must like the cat. Let's head up and start.
Fucking cat school witchers, man. They busted my ass a few months ago. They're gonna bust my ass today.
Only known one. One is pretty good, but most of them, yeah.
I killed like 2 of them, but that's fine.
For what it's worth, given how noticeable Nienna is and how much she sticks out in a place like a tap house, she's outside.
Makes sense.
All right.
Sure. Let's go.
Yep.
All right.
If you are going to be quiet and try to sneak up on this individual, I will require a stealth check from all 3 of you.
Okay.
Which is interesting for Irileth and Brynnhilder, because you get to see that Oswald is still stealthy, even though he's wearing a full plate mail cuirass.
Yep.
Irileth gets a 32 on stealth.
Very nice.
So stealthy, brother. We're doing so good. So stealthy.
What were you saying, sister?
The Witchers. Stealthy as ever. Hey, I still going higher than you. Asshat.
I can feel
Amateurs.
truly love in this room.
Truly, it truly is a brother and sister.
Yep.
Really feel.
Irileth remembers why he. Irileth remembers why he doesn't work with amateurs.
So you all head upstairs, and you can see you don't see the figure, but you do hear a door close and see the door at the far end of this hallway close. just as you make it to the top of the stairs.
All right.
Let's get over with. And I'm just going to knock a couple of times.
Why are we knocking the door?
I don't know. I don't know.
We failed our
Because
stealth
Oswald
checks.
is the one who knocks.
Perfect. Well,
I'm sorry.
I'm going to assume that Irileth will work to stay
I'm
hidden while
Go to bed now.
while at least one of the Witchers begins to knock on the door.
Yep.
Mhm.
I need
Okay.
you to stop knocking.
Oh, right.
There was no response from the knock on the door, by the way.
He's getting away.
I'm going to try to
Oh
open
my god,
the
I'm
door.
gonna break down the door.
I'm going to try to open the door. That doesn't work
The
out.
door is not gonna open. I'm.
The door is not locked.
Oh. I'm gonna break down the door anyway.
Are you kicking it, or are you going to use Ard?
I'm a Griffin school witcher, baby. I'm gonna kick it. I'll use art. He can't slam the door in our face if the door is broken.
Go ahead and give me a roll of spellcasting.
Let's go, baby.
Chuck and all.
25.
Alrighty. With a 25, the door is now kindling. Just shattered to all hell and slamming against the back wall of the room.
Knock, knock, bitch.
Do you head on inside?
Yeah.
Yep.
As the Witchers head on inside, Oswald, I need you to go ahead and make me a body save.
Oh. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So just click on body.
Just click on body.
A 4.
Okay, so you suddenly feel a hand roughly strike you right in the Adam's apple. You are still able to keep your footing and don't completely lose the ability to breathe, but it takes a second and it just like catches you by surprise. Brynnhilder, you feel yourself pushed, and you can feel a blade at your at your abdomen, angled to where it would begin to slip into ribs. And I would like you to go ahead and give me a roll of physique.
Okay. $27.
They are not able to push you, because as soon as you see the strike at Oswald's throat, you prepare yourself and you just intercept them. You are able to grab at your blade or to begin preparing a sign if you so choose. Or you can speak.
Oh, so I get to do something?
Yep.
Fuck yeah. I'm just gonna check this one really quick before
I also have a thing I would like to do.
What was that?
I see them go in first. They get hit, which I was expecting. So once the guy gives away his position, I'm going to run, go either between or over them, and just start beating this dude.
Well, I was gonna art sweep him.
Right.
Go right ahead and cast the...
Which flings him like back to a wall.
Cool.
Go ahead and
Then I
roll.
will follow that up.
Okay, so
Yeah, if you blast
another.
him back, then I'm gonna kick his ass.
So I do another.
This will be another spellcasting roll.
Okay, and
Oh,
ugh, I'm gonna spend
Oh.
2 luck points to re-roll that.
Fair enough.
Yeah. $23. And I believe I pick how many stamina points I want to put into that.
Yep. For each stamina point spent. So this would be, you can decide how many figures you're trying to push into this, but if you want to just keep it on one figure, extra stamina points will increase the chance of them being knocked to the ground.
Yeah. I'm going to put 6 stamina points into that.
Okay.
Giving them a 60% chance of getting knocked prone.
Yep.
nice.
You can see that he brings up a hand and there is a sort of a field around him, not in the same way that Quen does, but there's a like practiced magical field that you've seen only once before in the form of the heliotrope, which is a Witcher's training ability that would permit them to completely negate any magic for trying to be forced upon them. But it fails as they weren't expecting you to bring this magic to bear, especially as it was empowered by the magical sword on your back that is attuned to the wind of Ard. And he gets flown across the room and slams against the wall, letting out a very rough and just crumpling to the ground. Irileth, go ahead and give me a brawling roll if you're going to begin kicking his ass.
Cool. I'm going to be spending stamina to make several of these.
Okay.
Any additional bonuses on account of he's like blasted?
I will give you an additional +3 to at least to the first roll because you're catching him as he's reeling immediately, but you know that with Witcher's reflexes and their training, he'll probably be able to regain his footing if you give him too much space, give him too much
Cool.
time.
Power blow to the head for 22 to hit.
All right. And that will actually catch him, not by a lot, because but it does catch him.
Okay. 5 multiplies to 15 damage because that was the head. Did that count that it was a strong strike?
Yep.
Okay. Bad roll. All right. Do that again. Reduce my... Ooh, I should have made that first one a charge attack. Oops.
Oh,
Well, we're going to spend 2 points of luck on that.
Already.
That's about as bad as I can possibly roll. Oh, not about. That's literally as bad as I could possibly roll. Yes, it's an extra attack. brass knuckles to the face. All right, 15.
After the first hit connects and you can feel his head snap to the side, you work to just begin to just bring your hand back again, and you can see that he just like shifts and moves underneath the swing and is at your side now.
Cool. Elbow to the ribs, come around for another shiv in the ribs.
All right.
A shiv in this case being a punch, not a blade.
Right.
The good old make him throw up strike.
Just to remind you, each one of these rolls is taking on a consecutive -3s.
Yep. I believe the system applies that for me. It's an 18 and a 20. Or no, it doesn't apply the additional -3, so that would be 15 and a 17.
The elbow is caught by a hand, but the shiv hand does actually catch him in the torso. So go ahead and roll the damage for that one.
All right. Nine, straight to the chest.
You can feel that there is armor underneath that cloak. It is tough armor. It doesn't feel metal, but it is there. And it does seem to take some of the blow for him, but he just winces. Ugh.
All right. I'd like to try one more thing, and you can tell me whether or not this would work. A special move or disarm to... Because I know from working with Brynnhilder, Witchers typically cast with their left hand. So can I try to get control of his left hand?
I will say yes. Right. I will say that you're going to be an additional -3 just because of just trying to do so much all at once.
Mm-hmm. So that puts me at a total of 12, -12 for multiple attacks and a special attack.
Yep.
That's a big old 7.
You grab at his left hand and you get a firm grip on it and you feel like, haha, I got him. But you see his right hand come up and he draws almost like a lopsided square. And I need you to make me a resist magic roll.
Okay. That's going to be bad. I have no points in this. 13.
You look up, you see the square, you're like, I don't think I've seen that sign before. And then your sight goes dark, and Brynnhilder and Oswald see Irileth just sort of crumple to the ground, snoring. And the figure stands up, and you hear a familiar voice. You've got dangerous friends, little bird. And there's only one person that has ever called you little bird before.
Uh-oh.
As he pulls his hood down, and you see a long white hair that is pulled back into a singular small ponytail. And he turns to you, and you see a scar where you lopped his head off as Egil stands before you.
What are you doing here?
I was watching over your family.
Good to see you too.
How did you?
It wasn't easy, as he raises his head and just rubs at the scar a little bit. Still itches like crazy. Took a very, very long time to work out the particular decoction. And it took even longer to actually get the mutagen for it. Higher vampire mutagen is not easy to come by.
No. It's not.
You go, what happened? What the fuck are you... What?
Right. This is was my mentor.
Wait.
Throughout Witcher school.
Wait, you knew Egil?
Yeah.
Sorry about the throat, Oswald. Just needed you to take a second.
Well,
No, that is completely fine.
How do
I
you
just kind of
know
deserve
each other?
that.
You want to handle how we know each other, Oswald?
Yeah, how do you know Bryn?
Well, she explained it.
I mean, yeah,
That's my mentor. Yeah. Don't know. You know what hasn't changed in the over 100 years we haven't seen each other? You still don't know how to fucking listen.
sorry.
Not a single mutagen could fix those deaf-ass ears of yours, could they?
Oh, oh, they can.
I'm just pulling your leg. But how do you two know each other?
You want to handle this, Oswald?
Yeah, we worked a job together a long time ago, and through that we gained a mutual understanding of each other, and, well, I'll do anything for him.
You can take a hit to the Adam's apple. And he just moves and kneels down to pick up Irileth's unconscious form and places him in the bed. Don't worry about him. He'll wake up, he'll wake up if you give him a good slap, but he'll wake up in about 8 hours' time. Figure he could probably use it. I can see your shadows.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're alive. I mean, I can, but can't.
Well, to be fair, neither could I for the first few days. I was not entirely sure the decoction would work, but thankfully, higher vampire's ability to reconstitute itself carried over with the mutagen. Not easy to get.
The guy that you worked under is still alive. I was only recently made aware of that.
On one hand, that's a good thing because one of the better magical minds on the continent currently. On the other hand, he pissed off a lot of people with his shit.
Yeah. I'm one of them.
Yeah. He and I don't talk anymore. I paid my dues to him when I got beheaded.
I would do it.
I don't ever expect you to forgive me for that.
You did what you had to. Honestly, it's how I would have wanted it to go out anyway.
Yeah.
This is... I'm still trying to catch up here, and you
Yeah.
tried to kill Egil.
Well,
Egil had...
mildly
did.
succeeded.
Well, she did kill me.
Well, yeah, but
We were on
you're-
opposite sides of things.
I beheaded him. He came back to life. If you're watching over our family, what the fuck is happening?
My guess is that something more recent played off of a deal, a ritual that happened before I even got here.
There's a godling in their basement.
That would make sense, given the lushness of the area around them and how people don't seem to get too much older too quickly.
No. I suspect that only a generation or two since Oswald and I were children have gone by. I should probably preface this by saying Oswald and I are brother and sister by blood.
Oh yeah, I know.
You knew this whole time?
Yeah.
And you didn't think to maybe tell us that the other was alive?
What exactly would that do? You'd either end up looking for each other, or you'd end up just saying, huh, neat, and moving on with your lives. You came back together eventually.
That is fair.
Fair. Listen. I don't know how much time we have. There's a fucking mage involved in all of this, and
Because of course there is.
yeah. And some sort of the ones that live in the house, a druid. I don't think it was a druid. Somebody made a pact with our line. That's how the godling got trapped in the basement. Mage that's been after my buddy found out that him and I were connected. Started fucking with whatever's on that house. That's how, and she points to the shadows, we think that these things got attached to us.
use it to spread the suffering and draw him out.
Yeah.
Typical sorceress.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think that she's got us in the position that she wants us in. Because we're here. I also think that she's been using magic to keep eyes on him.
Given what he is, I imagine that'd be a little bit easier.
Yeah.
I do assume that you mean the werewolf and not the dwarf, right?
Considering I said him and not her. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need others in our family getting hurt.
That's fair. Bring them here and I'll take care of them. I'll make sure that they don't get hurt.
What about you?
Well,
He at least got like 1 or 2 good kicks in. You good?
heal fast.
Yeah. And vampire mutagen. You healed from a lob to the head.
Oh, that's long gone. It was kind of a one and done sort of thing. Don't think I'm going to be able to call on Deadloff again. Nienna? As you're waiting outside, it's been a hot minute since they've went inside.
Yep, Nienna's inside, making her way inside. And
Oh.
when she sees they're not in the main room, she's headed upstairs because there's only one other place they'd be.
Yep. You do hear a conversation from the end of the hall, given that there is no door to block any sound anymore.
I'm headed in that direction.
And the trio of witchers soon see that they're joined by an Angie sorceress.
Given that I was there when we buried him and grew flowers over his grave, can I assume that I recognize who he is?
Very much so. Interesting that his head is back on his shoulders to Nienna.
I'm less concerned about his head being on his shoulders. Can I try to get a feel for him magically?
Absolutely.
See if there's any sort of fucky wucky shit going on?
Yep. Go ahead and give me a roll of magical training.
I'm gonna re-roll that. That's terrible.
Makes sense.
Huh, 35.
Significantly better.
This is what I do.
You don't get any strange sense of magic coming from him right now. When you were burying him, you felt the wisps of some darker magic that were leaving him as his body was being buried. Darker magics that very much reminded you of the sort of way that Gaunter burned the contract. That sort of darker wisp is gone, and you sense that he is fairly powerful in his magic for a witcher, and you definitely sense the way that he is
a witcher.
He is still just a witcher, despite the fact that he has also worked to train his body against magic.
Nienna, I think, is going to give him sort of a sidelong look. And then her focus goes to Irileth, and she kind of makes a like a vague gesture with her fingers and casts a spell.
Hey, Irileth, you're awake now.
What the? Comes up, arm cocked back. Okay. Holy shit.
Have a good nap.
You were fucking dead.
I was.
You. This is. Irileth gets up off the bed.
When you said that I felt dark stuff like what I felt when Gaunter Dim dissolved the contract coming off of him, are you implying that I felt something like his own magical contractual agreement leaving him?
Or the extension of the contract that Isogir had that had extended out towards Egil, leaving him.
Nienna will tilt her head.
Yeah.
So... Huh.
Are we... Looks at everybody standing around. Nobody's drawing their weapons. Nobody's in a pose. Okay.
Nienna looks thoughtful. But very, very still. Which doesn't mean much considering her level of magical training. Or her ability with spellcasting. She doesn't really need to do much of anything to cast magic. Well, Egil, was it?
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome for your soul.
I do appreciate that. It was hard to even just keep my hands steady. Bryn was able to take the opening that I was barely able to give her. And again, I taught her well. She kicked the shit out of me. And he just looks with a sly smile at Brynnhilder.
She playfully, she rolls her eyes and looks away, and then there's just the tiniest hint of a smirk. Just curling on her, on the corner of her mouth.
Well, shit, if that's the case, I don't want to mess around with you, Bryn.
Yeah, I'll kick the shit out of you too.
We'll see. Oswald, though? No, I don't want to.
To be clear, we're not trusting him, right?
Why wouldn't we?
He got in bed with the same being that Isilgir did. We all don't trust Isilgir. What makes him trustworthy?
Yeah, why'd you sell your sword to a guy who was doing real bad shit?
Didn't just sell his sword, sold his soul.
Okay, that too.
I threw my sword in with someone who I thought was trying to do right, and then he decided to pull me into a contract. Took my will from me. Took who I was from me.
That's not how those agreements work. You have to agree yourself.
And was that before or after he burned a village full of dwarves and did a bunch of other crazy shit?
After.
Irileth gives points at him I rest my case.
To be clear, I don't agree with all of the things that Isilgir did, but he was trying to do good. Conjunction his fears is going to happen again. He was trying to put the world in the best place to survive it. I don't agree with how he did it, but he had the best of intentions, which is why I didn't kill him myself.
That makes two of us. And I owed him a lot which is why I was willing to help him see it through, even
That
as
being
much as I didn't like it.
That being said, I also agreed we wouldn't work with him ever. And we certainly wouldn't trust him.
It's understandable.
Yeah. Comes over, stands next to a Siegryn, gets as close to his face as he can with like an
You mean
probably
Igil?
8-inch difference. Igil, yes. What did I say?
Isilgir?
Yeah, you said it's so good.
No, it's Siegryn's in the room now. That's canon.
Yeah.
Try.
Sudden
He
mage.
comes over. Yeah, he walks over, gets in his face a little bit, and he says, "You're on thin ice with me, sir."
Irileth.
I'll start approaching Irileth and put my hand on his shoulder. Don't.
Thin ice.
2 steps back.
You kids can have your dad back. I'm not gonna kill him unless he does something to fuck with us. Then, well, round 2. And he'll step back.
I can respect that.
We're not working with him. I'm going to check on Siegryn and Fenix. Shouldn't be leaving them alone this long.
Oh shit, did we leave Fenix alone at the place where the...
I didn't know that both of them would follow.
Yeah, let's go. You guys
I
talk.
asked.
We are going to go back to the stable.
Oh no.
And with the pitchfork, you, Siegryn, are digging around a little bit in the hay, and you hit something that, it sounds like the pitchfork is hitting something metal. And when you pull it up and out, you see a round, it's a sphere that has a fuse in it. It's a bomb.
Is the fuse lit?
No.
Oh, cool. Okay. How big is this bomb?
About the size of like a grapefruit.
She's gonna tuck away that for now. Well, Render, that's one free bomb for me. Let's see if there's some more around. Can you follow the scent? See if there's anything similar to that, boy?
Render just sniffs at the bomb and then begins sniffing around and goes out of the stable and closer towards the house. Fenix. You are at the house, sort of just keeping an eye on things, keeping watch. And you look around at the various people here, and they just seem happy. They seem calm. And then you hear a voice near you. Fenix says, "It's been a while." It is a voice of an individual that you despise.
I have to be a lot more specific.
One that murdered a lot of your family members.
Oh, okay. Sorry, the total button.
The number of people you despise has increased.
Yeah. He will turn slowly towards the voice.
You see Tricia of Marivel. She is wearing a deep blue long dress with the black accents of Nilfgaardian black. She is smiling at you with her hair pulled up tight in a bun. But the thing is, with you sniff, and your senses show that whatever this is, she's not actually physically here, because you don't smell her.
Yeah, she's not that dumb. Yeah, it has. I think I was about 3.5 feet shorter the last time I saw you in person.
Around that, I think. How are you?
Do you still have that toy Robin that I made you? I always wondered about that. Gave it to you at the dinner table.
Take it with me everywhere. It was a lovely gift. Thank you.
Yeah. Mom wanted us all to make sure we had gifts for our guests, so Petrilla brought flowers. Croesus brought this wonderful gem he found out in the mines that were abandoned near our home. We all brought something. Is that amusing to you?
A little. But I understand the sentiment.
Last gifts of some dead children. What are you doing to this family?
Well, to the actual family that lives here, not much. They get to keep their precious little hamlet, and you can just tell there's this disdain for these people in her voice. But I got to utilize something a dear friend of mine put together for them a while back. It helped when I could find you again. And how lucky I was that when I did, you were with your sister.
You'll never lay a hand on her.
We'll see.
You would have by now if you could.
Clever. She's fairly well protected and has a lot of eyes on her. Wouldn't do for her to suddenly wind up dead or missing.
Don't start posturing now. If you were that powerful, you would actually be here, wouldn't you? But you don't want to be within 10 feet of an actual werewolf. Especially one who knows what he's doing. So if you came here... If you came here to get a rise out of me, it's not going to work.
I came here to offer you a different way for this to go. You can, of course, work to undo the ritual that I put in place to pull the Hyms here, take care of all of them, and watch everyone around you suffer and die at the claws of these demons or my own workings. Or I let you rejoin your family. Or you can just walk away and we can handle this ourselves. No one else has to die, I suppose. Just you.
That's true. Monsters shouldn't exist on this plane. I shouldn't be alive. I should have died in that pit where Brynnhilder found me. But there is one other person that needs to die. One other person that needs to die before me. Because my spirit won't be satisfied until I'm holding that person's spine in my hand while I howl in victory over their fucking crushed body. How this is going to end. We're going to stamp out this little fucking ritual of yours. And thanks for cluing me in on the fact that the whole reason these Hyms are here, hurting my sister, my other sister, is because you feel like fucking with me a little bit more. I don't know why you thought you needed to add more fuel to the fire, but I've never been more fucking motivated in my life to making sure I crush your skull with my bare hand. So you are smart to have a little illusion talking to me, but that only proves how truly terrified you always were of us, the noble family of werewolves.
I was disgusted by you.
You were scared.
Masquerading people.
Masquerading. We never pretended to be people. If you were actually ever watched our household, you would see a bunch of little pups, werewolves running through the woods laughing like idiots. We never intended to go out into the world of Nilfgaard. We were going to be happy where we were. But just the idea was enough for you. Were you persecuted?
Yes, I was.
Treated like that monster? Like you were different? That you deserved to be killed? Did you watch as children were slaughtered?
I lived in Redania, boy. Of course I did.
So it's a familiar picture. So now, I want you to look into a mirror and see the face of the person that was smiling over your family's bodies. And see what I see when I fucking look at you.
That smile has lessened a good bit. And she's just looking at you with this acid in her eyes, this vitriol, and this utter disgust. I'm going to enjoy making everyone you care about bleed. Say goodbye to your current little family.
Mm-hmm. Get out of my sight, you're not worth it.
And just as much as she was there, she fades away, almost like being carried away. Her image almost being carried away on wind, and you can see that Brynnhilder and Siegryn are making their way closer to you. Brynnhilder sniffing around a lot, and sniffing near the post where the other sign was.
Oh, did you find the other one, boy? Well, go on then. Get it dug up.
He is currently just like sniffing at the like little scratching on the post and just like getting up on his back legs and sort of scratching at it, though not able to really like mark it.
Oh, you found another sign, did you? I'm not sure I'll be able to do anything to it myself, but I suppose I could try. And I'm assuming the post is like made out of wood, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. She's just gonna take out a knife and just kind of just fuck it up. Just go ham on it.
You do not have to really, you do not have to roll anything. You just, taking out the knife, you're able to make little markings and scratches that sort of disrupt it. And you can just see it glow for a brief moment before it fades again.
Oh, there we go. Guess you and I get to contribute this tonight. Oh. Hello there, Fenix.
He turns to you and you see his eyes are glowing yellow before he like shakes his head. Hey, what you got going on?
Are you doing all right?
I thought I saw a shadow that I recognized. What's going on with you two?
Oh, well, currently we're on a bit of an egg hunt of sorts. Well, except instead of eggs, we're looking for explosives.
Wait, what the fuck are you talking about? What explosives?
Oh, like this neat bomb that I found. And she holds up the bomb that she found in the stable.
Is he tracking those down?
Yes, actually. I suppose he also tracked the descent to this sign. I'm hoping those things aren't supposed to set off the bombs and that there are multiple bombs, because if there were, that would be a problem.
Fenix is going to reach over and pull up that post.
Pulling up that post, you just don't see anything underneath it. It's just wood that was stuck in the dirt.
He's going to dig into that dirt.
All right. And at this point, people are making their way back from the city with one other individual in tow.
Is Render looking towards anywhere else as he tries to follow the bomb scent?
Did the Witchers follow us? Because Nienna and Irileth left, but I don't remember them saying that they were going to. I just want to give them the opportunity to have their proper reunion without people listening in.
Oh, of course. Would Brynnhilder have gone with, or would it just be like Egil and Brynnhilder while Irileth and Nienna head off?
I mean, I would stay with Egil.
Brynnhilder?
I'm gonna stay.
Okay. Then it was in fact just the elves. You see Fenix digging.
Do I find something is the question.
You do not.
Phoenix, I know that we've made the occasional joke about dogs, but I didn't think you'd
It's not a
actually
fucking
take the
joke.
berry.
We found a bomb.
And you're digging?
The sign. We found a similar sign in the stable. The sign of the post. We found the bomb in the goddamn stable. Yeah. I don't know how sigils and stuff like that work, but I thought they could be connected.
It certainly seems to be, according to Render's nose.
Well,
Can I see the bomb?
Only if you give it back. She'll pull out the grapefruit-sized bomb and she'll hold it up for everyone to see.
Can I make a craftsman check on that bad boy?
Yes, I would allow a craftsman check, or if you have it, alchemy.
Yeah, Irileth was hoping to figure out if this was Witcher made.
Oh, fucking a 2. So tired. I make both.
You can absolutely make both.
Wait. Of course, the next one's a 22. I rolled 2 2s.
You can tell that it is a bomb that would probably have been made by a Witcher. It is a moon dust bomb.
I have a question for you both. When you followed whoever that was into the city, was it a Witcher?
it was, as I expected it would be. No mage is going to use something so basic.
Well,
Yeah, it was you remember that guy with the real cool sword who lost his head up on the mountaintop?
Egg.
there's mentor, yeah.
Yeah, it was him.
Guess who came back to life?
Magic is fucking bullshit.
Oh, that
Right.
wasn't magic. That was a mutagen.
Oh,
That was close to what you do, dear.
I love you, babe, but it's
I
really
can't do that.
semantics to me.
It shouldn't be to someone like Fenix.
I
Closer to alchemy than magic. I know a lot of magic. I've only seen very, very, very dark spells that can bring someone back to life.
Right. I mean, I can get in most of a forearm back in a fortnight, but I sure can't fucking regrow my head. But neither there nor there. It's a moon dust bomb. You know,
So
for someone like me.
likely stored here to enable him to look after their family, as he claims to have been doing.
Wait, so it wouldn't just explode?
You have to light it. It would explode. Just
Right, but if you hit it with
I
fire, would
don't
it
think
blow
that
up the
Nienna
building?
overheard. By the way, I don't think Nienna heard that he was there to protect the family.
I got there right around the same time. I was coming down the hallway as you guys were talking. I just assumed that I caught like the tail end of what was being said before I showed up. I don't know. It's weird when you give people time to have the scene, but also recognize that you're within earshot. So I just made an assumption. Saul can correct me if I'm wrong.
I would say that she could at least get the idea that he wasn't being hostile. I don't know if she can. She heard the exact that he was there to protect the family.
Well, he was clearly looking over things at the family home. That's
Yeah, he did leave ways for him to keep tabs on the family. So
yeah. I mean, it's meant for monsters. I mean, if I got hit with that, it'd be fucked up for a solid minute.
above the table, I do think that being at least a bit of an alchemist, Fenix would know that moon dust itself doesn't really harm werewolves, but it does completely halt your regeneration
Yeah,
while the moon dust is there.
Yeah, I mean, above the table, I'm not going to use terms like regeneration because I don't think.
Yeah, of course. Fair enough.
Yeah, it fucks them up. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it would
Hands
fuck
it
me
back
up for
to
a hot
Siegryn.
minute. Yeah.
Yeah, Siegryn, you better keep that close. We might need it tonight.
So
Oh, very
Because-
much.
He'll take the post and shove it back into the hole he just dug. I saw a bomb, I got concerned. Especially if it's a minefield or some shit like that.
Seems more like it was a just in case sort of measure, put where he knew he could find it in case something went sideways.
Clever. Credit where it's due. Where was it specifically?
Oh, it was buried in some hay bale in the stable.
Well, that's
Easy
less
to light.
bad.
No, easy to light. Throw a
Yes,
torch at the hay bale, push a monster in that direction. Boom.
sure, but all it would take is a lantern falling over when one of the children comes out here to help the animals, and you have a dead child on your hands.
If the barn's burning down, you got other problems.
My
Not
point
taking
is,
his side, still a prick.
it wasn't about taking his side. I don't think that I'd put something explosive near something easily flammable when I know the children are going to be around. That's the point I was making. Less clever.
Or, a dwarf. But who's counting?
Well, I don't think he necessarily made plans for you to be here, sweetheart.
Well, I think he should have been a bit more considerate.
All right.
That's fair. He is,
Nienna, can I talk to you over here for a moment, please?
of course.
Thank you.
No one
leader
expects you,
distance
Siegryn.
away. He'll lead her a distance away before going. Teresa showed herself to me.
Interesting.
It was an illusion. I was able to suss it out easy enough, which she figured, but she was just trying to get a rise out of me.
Did it work?
Almost.
Did you monologue at her?
Oh, it's just you haven't monologued at somebody in the past few weeks.
She kind of smiles a little bit. I'm just teasing. I would expect no less.
Yeah. Did manage to actually piss her off, though, so I know we were on guard, but it's gonna get worse.
Of course it is.
No.
Why wouldn't it?
When did you figure out that she'd attached the Hyms from her?
Shortly after we realized what the magic was, and I sent you all to go deal with the animals. Didn't exactly have time to tell you, given everything that happened afterwards.
I'm not going at you. I'm just make a stronger effort to do so. Please.
She's not going to come at you in broad daylight.
I know.
And I didn't tell you to send both of the witches. I thought you would send one and the other one would stay so that you wouldn't be alone.
Didn't know what it was. And I know you're doing your best to try to help me out, but if I do die, this does end with me. So.
I don't think it will. I think you die, and then she continues going after your sister, and she has one less protector with her. Your sister's very capable. Of that I have no doubt, but...
I get it. Just... if you get a whiff of anything, just tell me right away. I'm relatively effective as I am, but if they get the drop on us and I'm like this, just gestures at himself. Makes it easier for him.
Phoenix,
Yeah.
please understand that I mean no offense when I say this. If she gets the drop on us, you're not going to be the one saving everyone's life.
I'm not saying I am, but I can't help as much.
I know, but I can buy you time. It's what I'm here to do.
Can you promise me something?
Perhaps. What would you like?
Everybody else first.
No, I can't make that promise. Not because I intend to prioritize you, but because I'm going to prioritize who I think I can do the most good for in the moment.
Oh, don't say that. I actually like Siegryn.
Honestly, Siegryn is the one I'm least concerned about, because she's the only one here who doesn't seem to have any obvious enemies. She simply seems to have gotten very unlucky by being around the rest of us.
Well, I'm over here like Brynnhilder, of course. Irileth, I mean, of course, but damn shame. He's fast, he can run.
I'd like your opinion on something.
Of course.
I've been holding on to, a backup plan. Reinforcements. I have thus far not made any use of them, because I have concerns it would upset Irileth. But I'm wondering if perhaps it wouldn't be a good idea, despite Irileth's feelings on the matter. If only because, regardless of what Brynnhilder and Oswald may think, I don't trust Adrián. He sold his soul to you-know-who, just as much as Isilgeir did. The only reason he has a soul is because we broke that contract. And then he had the nerve to try and put all of the blame on Isilgeir, like Isilgeir made him do it. That's not how those agreements work. You have to agree.
You want to bring Isilgeir into this?
No, No. My point is, they seem to be quite eager to trust him, and I don't.
So who are your reinforcements?
She kind of gets this coy little smile and pulls out from a pocket hidden in the fold of her dress, a coin with a cat head on it, and holds it up. Someone owes me a favor because I spared his life.
You know what?
I haven't called on him because I think Irileth would be annoyed by the constant flirting he tends to do, but he's very good at what he does.
Okay, that point only makes me want to do it more, but I'm actually going to try to be professional about this and consider everyone's lives despite it. Yes, do it.
Very well.
We need a professional to watch the professional. Even if he's an ancient badass. Hard to fuck with one of them, points to the coin.
He's not that badass.
There are a few people who will make me immediately piss myself. He gave me a look and I almost did. Summon it.
Nienna will pat Fenix on the shoulder she won't say anything, but she has that look like I thought you had a little bit more spine than that, and then will crush the coin in her hand. Saul.
Alrighty. No ritual roll needed. This is a very simple magical effect. You can tell that Yara has received the message and will be on his way and should make it around nightfall.
Perfect.
Also, more spine than that. His job for a living is killing me. What do you mean?
I mean, he's also from a school that hates people like me, and I didn't flinch, so, you know.
I flinched a little bit. A little bit of clench. That's all there was. You know what I mean? A little bit of clench. All right.
He'll be here tonight.
Where's thing 1 and thing 2?
They're still with Igil.
I don't like that.
I made it clear we weren't working with him, so I assume they stayed behind to have their moment.
Speaking of, we're going to shift back to the tap house, where Igil has gotten a few chairs from downstairs and brought them up so that everyone can have a seat and just talk with a little bit of stronger alcohol, mostly white gull, that he's distilled himself.
You always knew how to brew good white gull, Igil.
I try. I like to mess around with the formulas a little bit. This one actually doesn't taste like shit, so there's that.
Now what? I mean, are you just gonna be hanging around this town for when the fuck ever?
I mean, I was doing it just to keep an eye on your family as best as I could, but it seems that you got that covered, taking care of whatever danger's going on there, especially with the godling.
Yeah.
And I would offer to help, but your sorceress friend seems to really not like me. I don't blame her, but you know.
I mean, you kind of sold your soul to the devil.
I kind of did. I wasn't exactly sure what I was getting into. He just said it would just be. I didn't understand exactly who I was talking to.
And that's a dangerous thing to admit, being one of us.
That's why I'd only admit it to you two.
Sounds about right.
Ignorance is the thing that'll kill you, I guess.
It was stupid.
Foolish.
Put more trust into the words of someone who already sold his soul.
You put your trust into somebody with good faith. You weren't aware of who you were selling your soul to. I get that you went through a lot, and our battle didn't make it any easier. Maybe stop trusting mages so much.
I thought I could trust one.
Mistake. I'm sure.
Hate to agree with Bren there.
I trust one. And only one. The others. I'll trust the others as far as Siegryn can throw them.
The fuck? It's the slander tonight.
It's only because we think so big of you, Siegryn.
Oh, bigger than her.
Just a huge personality that we all respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all of you.
So big it can reach the second shelf.
Big of you to put up with it, though.
God damn it.
What was I saying again? I don't know. There was a third dimension out there that briefly took over my soul.
I think it also got me too.
No.
Oh shit, is there a Spectre round? No.
Round 3, fight.
I think we were just focusing on fuck mages.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe I trust 2. Fucking redheaded mages, man. Oh, fucking redheaded mages.
So,
Both gonna be the life and death of me.
you and the butcher have that in common, huh?
You know. There's a reason that Fenix and I see each other. But
Really?
yeah.
Huh. Fair enough.
You know. I just can't fucking believe that you're here.
Neither can I.
I still can't believe that you're fucking alive. And she'll look to Oswald with that one.
What?
Nothing.
Glad you two managed to get back together after all this time. Wish it was under better circumstances, but beggars can't be choosers.
In our world, is there ever a better time?
Then with him in a danger? Yeah, probably not.
Definitely not. Especially these days. Seems like everything in their mom is fucked.
When hasn't it been?
You know what? I can drink to that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Just immediately downs a good bit of his white gull and just shakes his head. It's one of the only alcohols that actually burns so good for witchers. Everyone else is like trying to drink gasoline.
Yeah. Oh.
All right. It doesn't taste like shit this time.
Yeah, so you've been working on it.
It's actually got a flavor. She'll crack a grin.
Like I said, I try.
Yeah. Eagle, do me a favor.
Sure.
The moment that you can get the fuck out of the town. I don't need the others in my group going after you. And you
That's
already
fair.
managed to piss off one of the short stacks.
Yeah, but I think just being around is going to piss her off anyway.
No.
I'll take my leave once I'm sure that you are done with whatever you're doing here.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime.
And every once in a while, you know, if you can send out a signal somehow.
I have a few friends I could probably pass along letters to. I'll send them to the bar guest. Probably easier to get letters there than into the keep.
Yeah. And those signs that you did, ones that knocked his ass out.
Some, yeah.
The other one that you were going to do.
Which one's that? I've only really used 2 while I've been here.
The one that you were going to sign before I knocked you on your ass.
Oh, yeah, that was going to be another psalm. What about it?
What would it take for you to give me the layout of how those work?
I mean, just a little bit of training. You catch on quick enough. We can probably take care of that before you have to head out.
I'd really appreciate a couple of tools under my belt in case things get ugly.
Sure. Given that you're with someone who's more noble now, and he just like makes a little bit of a grin, kind of like playing up a bit like the hoity-toity.
You're so funny. Oh my god, anybody ever just how funny you are.
I've got no complaints.
Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Ha.
If you want, I can teach you a super A too.
I'd appreciate it.
Sure. You went in on this, Oswald, or are you just gonna drink my white gull?
Honestly, the recipe for your white call would be appreciated, but I would be more than willing to join in on this.
You want to learn the extra fancy shit, huh?
Not the sign, but it's
No?
I don't. I don't mess around with signs that much anyway.
Yeah. Signs are kind of my bread and butter. Weird. It's like I've been trained on them or something.
Weird, right?
My entire Witcher career. It's like that was what my school specialized in until a bunch of mages toppled it.
Yeah. Just continue.
Well. To be fair, okay. Kaer Saren was a bit of a shithole anyway.
I mean, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. It was a shit show. The men who taught there couldn't keep up with me. You know. The little woman witcher. The witcheress. Whatever they called me back in school. Yeah. Bitch. Whatever.
I think one of Dandelion's plays actually has a witcheress in it. It's fun to know.
To meet
Anyway.
another witcheress would be fun.
Okay, let's get to training before you start creeping me out.
What is that supposed to mean?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, what the fuck? Fine.
And he will settle in on working to teach you the advanced Witcher signs of Somme and Super. And we are going to travel back to the house of Brynnhilder's family, where Nienna is.
Nienna is going to go find Irileth.
Actually, before you walk towards him, Fenix is like, "Do you want me to help you break the news, or
No.
can I be
Let's
nearby while you break the news?" I'm kidding. Go ahead.
No, I don't think you
Okay.
want to.
I mean, I kind of do.
I'm going to have to probably make it up to him preemptively. So no, you don't.
Really? You could just do. All right. No. he heads back to go keep watch on that
It's
house.
been over a year. You don't think I've learned his buttons? She just sort of rolls her eyes and then goes to fight Irileth.
Yeah, so anyway, Irileth and Siegryn are talking. I think once this is all sorted out, we just go out and have, a night like we used to, minus, for me, the girls.
That's the right answer.
Oh, hey.
Hello, Siegryn, darling. Could I borrow
Yes.
Irileth?
Well, I mean, he's your boy toy.
I'm glad you understand, and she'll go and take his hand. Come with me.
He comes, he follows.
Indeed.
I'm sorry. I was having to fight not to say anything, and Grizz beat me to it. Nienna's gonna kind of guide him kind of off to the side, probably tucked into a corner behind the little barn thing.
Okay.
I need you to preemptively forgive me for something that hasn't happened yet.
No.
But it will.
Blanket no.
Why?
Because that's insane. That's a ridiculous thing to ask me for. I'll probably forgive you based on the merits of I like you.
What if I apologize now in the nicest way possible? Not here in the alley. Go get a room. But
Oh. Okay. You've moved me to maybe.
may have called in a favor that I've been putting off because I didn't want to upset you. But
we
we have
need
a
more
few-
people. What could possibly upset me?
I may have called Yara.
Yara.
He owes me his life. And we have a
Yara.
few unknown variables at play.
Just jog my memory.
The cat school witcher who constantly stares at my breasts.
Yeah, I thought that might be who you meant. We locked him up and let him go. All that.
Yes. With the agreement that he would stop coming after us and that he owed me his life so I could call on him when I needed him. Igil being here is a new unknown variable that I can't necessarily spare the focus for if there's another mage at play, and I know that there is.
Yep. All right. I'm still considering it.
How many apologies do you require?
He's going to put a hand around her waist and say, well, why don't we get started and we'll figure out when we get there.
Okay, but we have to be done by nightfall or he's going to break into the room, and that would be very awkward.
We'll see.
For me, it would be very awkward for me. Please
Yeah,
don't Please don't forget that a witcher put you to sleep. I can too.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna stick her head out around the corner to Siegryn and Fenix. We should go find an inn so that you two aren't left alone in case nefarious types show up. And
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
That
No,
sounds
we should be
absolutely wonderful right about
around
now.
People. Yeah.
Yes.
Good idea. All right, Render.
listen, I could leave you both alone again if you think it went well last time.
Well, I did find a bomb.
And
Not
the
the point you
person
were saying.
responsible for slaughtering my entire family decided to stop by for a visit. But please,
Wait, what?
apologize.
Oh, not in
Vigorously.
person. Not
Thoroughly.
in person. I can't do anything
So
to
much
her.
apologizing.
God,
Phoenix,
I hear words, but all it sounds like is jealousy.
I'm going to drop you through a portal into the middle of nowhere at some point. I just need you to understand that.
Yeah, I figured.
Leave him. We're
Yeah.
going.
All right, Render, come on, boy. Fetch, and he's
Oh,
gonna
look, they're
fucking
following.
free.
Not missing out on another bath.
So we're gonna go find an inn that we can get rooms in, not the tap house, elsewhere. Nicer place than that.
Fair enough. And as you work to settle in to rest, recuperate, recover a little bit, and handle some apologizing, we are going to end there for the evening.